Oh, it's the weekend, and welcome to the preview for Luton versus Forest and a little PSR talk. Let's get into it. Good morning, good evening, or good night, and welcome to Grumpy Old Reds, or should we say nervous old Reds? Or I don't know. I don't know how the boys are all feeling about the game coming up tomorrow, but it is feeling big. Guys, as always, you know what to do. Get those likes up. Hit that like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. And we've got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to start with the PSR stuff because there's so much misinformation going out about it. And then we'll move on to the Luton stuff. But boys on the panel, guys in the chat, how art thou? Look at that. I sound really Shakespearean, man. How you boys doing? Let's talk normal pub talk. Good.
Well, I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. I'm obviously there's some nerves here, but I'm also excited as well because it will be a big day for us one way or another, hopefully in a positive way. And if we can win tomorrow, then it will make such a difference, I think, to our feeling. Especially when we eventually
feel. Rob, you good, bro?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this game out of the way. Just whatever the score, just get it done, because it's the anticipation is the worst part of it.
And I see a new kit there. You got the home kit going on.
Yeah, well, it comes out on special occasions.
Any numbers on the back? I've always got to ask.
No, because if I put a name on the back, it would cost me an extra 15 quid and we'd immediately sell whoever I put on the back. So it's pretty unlucky. I'm never doing that again. So
I know that.
Yes, Crypto, we're looking at you.
Reyna's never played since he signed.
And speaking of kits, guys, football prizes have absolutely knocked out the park this week. Murillo signed, framed home kit. The tickets, 80 tickets have already sold in like less than 12 hours. So if you want to grab that, get your tickets now before they sell out. I think there's only like 70 left. The link's pinned in the chat. And the Insta Prize win this week is Callum Hudson-Odoi ticket 100. So make sure you get those in quickly before you miss out. Crypto, you and Eddie like best mates now, mate. Eddie's got like the weirdest sense of humor on Twitter. And I guarantee every weird tweet he's done, Crypto's there with a laughing emoji. There's a little bromance going on, Crypto.
No, me and Eddie have fallen out because I put a tweet out earlier saying that Alanga was my favourite player and I got absolutely slated for it. So, yeah, Eddie, you're dead to me, mate. You're dead to me.
Beef. All right. Let's kick this off with the PSR stuff, boys, because it's not hilarious because it's been like a headache all week, but we did tell everyone this morning that we weren't going to find out today. And the amount of crap we got about, good old Colin Frey has said this and so has said that. It's definitely Friday. The rules say this, the rules say that. And it's like, guys, we're not going to put misinformation out there. But the social medias were an absolute meltdown today over it. I will slate you too. They're all slating you now, Crypto. You've made some enemies. So, yeah, we are where we are. But I guess my question to you guys and to the chat is, would you rather know before the game or after the game? The talk is now Monday. Look, they can go as far as the 15th, I think, for Forest until they choose to appeal or what have you. But what do you reckon, Anne? Would you like to know now or would you prefer to know after the game?
No, I think I'd be surprised if anybody didn't want to know as soon as possible because it's the threat hanging over us that's causing us more stress than the actual points deduction. Once we know how many points deduction we've got, barring the appeal, obviously, but then we know what we've got to do. At the moment, we don't know what we've got to do, and it's quite stressful. So as soon as possible for me.
I'm not with you on that. No, I'm not with you guys on that because if we look at
saying now,
well,
no,
if you look at
to know on Monday. Honestly, I
look at the worst case scenario we were discussing earlier on in the week that we could have walked into tomorrow, and we've got the best of it, to be honest, after what could have happened. And psychologically for Luton, whether we'd got docked 3 points or 6 points on this occasion, if we got 3 points, then we would have still stayed ahead of them on goal difference. I'll grant that. But if we'd got docked 6 points before tomorrow's game, psychologically, they've got a little bit of a boost. It might not be a huge, it's a small boost.
It's like they start the game 2-0 up. You know, it gives them a massive boost.
No. They're still shit. They're still shit, mate.
No, I know, but we're talking about psychologically. Psychologically,
no, I agree. No, actually, yeah. You're making a good
3-0
point.
up to lose
Well, doesn't that work the other way as well, though, Ez? With Forest, if the Forest players know that it's only 3, then
but
it might not be any.
For us, it makes no difference now, does it? It makes no difference what the points deduction is. I'm just thinking psychologically, it would have given them a little bit of a boost if they'd come into it being ahead of us in the table. It might not made any difference, and it shouldn't make any difference. But we know how football works, and we know how the players and their psychology works. Being 3-0 up at half time against Bournemouth in midweek, they thought they were home and hosed, and to then lose 4-3. They were 3 points clear of us. If I'd carried on, that result had stood, and on top of that, we'd had our points deduction, we could go into it in a huge deficit to them, knowing that we needed a win. Now, psychologically, also, I said last week that it might actually help us to be in that relegation zone. It might kick something into the players' heads, and say, look, actually, we're in a real situation. But honestly, I think this is the best of any scenario that we could have envisaged at the start of a week to what we're getting for tomorrow's game. So I don't see it as a negative for us. I think it's actually a positive for us. Either way, the points are coming off. We'll find out on Monday. I'd rather find out Monday.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
I don't know as soon as possible, but
I think it's I've got a conspiracy theory for why it's Monday anyway.
I know what you're going to say. Go on.
Well, based on our result tomorrow, is whether we appeal or not, right? I mean, basically, if we win or draw tomorrow, and then they say on Monday, look, come on, 3 points if you agree not to appeal, we'll go, yeah, all right, and then it's done.
No, it can't. How can it work like that? What's the difference?
We would have done that anyway, surely.
Exactly. If Forest found out today, they could have appealed next Friday.
No, the biggest risk for the Premier League is that this isn't dealt with, done and dusted on Monday, and that it drags on over the end of the season, right? Because that just makes the whole a laughing stock of the whole thing, right? So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get, and they need to agree this with Forest and Everton because they need both teams to not appeal. Right, so it's a negotiation. It's like a kind of plea bargain. It's like, look, we can give you 6 points now, and you can appeal. Or if we have a gentleman's agreement that you're not going to appeal, we'll give you the 3, and you take it on the chin. Now we're going to know a lot better after tomorrow whether we can do that or not. So I think that's probably why they've agreed to delay it. Plus, I think announcing it, if it was really bad news or really good news, it's going to have some kind of impact on the game. So I think let's just focus on the game, and I prefer to open that, unwrap that particular present on Monday, and leave it out of tomorrow. Tomorrow should just be about football.
Well, it seems the majority of the chat wants to know now. I don't know. Do we need a poll chat for it? I think pretty much most of the ones.
It's like I said, Wolfie, at the beginning. I think most people will want it. Will want it now. I mean, it's just normal. You got to be something wrong with you if you don't want it now.
Yeah,
the Premier League
hasn't happened now.
Have to be seen. The Premier League have to be seen to punish us, right? I don't think that we can just get away with a rap on the knuckles or a fine, right? Because then the other teams are going to kick off and say, "Oh, you're playing favourites."
Nah, it doesn't.
We know the rules. But it's about what we can take and what we will agree to just accept without appealing.
Yeah, but think about it, Rob. Right? Like in this scenario, if Forest get a decision that they think or feels favourable to us, we don't appeal. If we feel the decision isn't favourable for us, we appeal. Yeah. However, think about it the other way around. Who's going to be pissed off if Forest don't get points, for example? It's going to be Luton. Realistically, yeah. There is no real grounds for them to appeal. They have to do what Leicester tried to do, what Middlesbrough tried to do in the past as well, and make it a legal issue. I think Middlesbrough is still fighting their case from about 2002, trying to get some stuff off of it. So I think it's better for the Premier League if they give Forest something favourable because of your theory that the only person or people or institute that can appeal it technically is Forest right now. So it's, I don't know, man. Look, we're all speculating.
Doesn't it show you how ridiculous the whole situation is? Because in reality, the independent panel should make their recommendation. I don't know if it's a recommendation or whether what they say goes. I think it's a recommendation because I think it's what they say, because I think the Premier League said they wanted 12 points for Everton and the panel said no, we're giving them 10. So I think they've got the final say. So they're an independent panel. They shouldn't be even thinking about Forest playing Luton. They shouldn't even be thinking about what effect it could have on your season going forward, whether it's going to relegate you or not. It should be independent, isolated, that particular case. So it's all a bit concerning when people are making all these conspiracy
there's a
theories,
couple
chatting to each other, because they shouldn't be chatting to each other.
So there's a couple of call outs we have to do. Now, we don't really like to get into cross beef on YouTube, right? But there's a couple of things, and get your super chats in. I'm saving some of the super chats. Sharky, yours is going to segue us nicely in a second. But I got to say, shout out to Lefty. I don't know if he's in the chat, but he sent us a tweet or X. Well, I don't know what they call him now. But apparently Jimmy from Blades Rumble or Ramble, whatever it's called, did an FFP video, financial foul play, he called it. And he did it with a panel. I watched about 20 minutes of it before I got bored. Sorry, Jimmy. It was quite boring, right? But he was trying to be serious.
Jimmy, for anything, man.
That's true. That's true. He was trying to be serious until they started talking about Forest, and the saltiness that came out from Jimmy. He was like, "No, they need to be punished at least 10 points. 10 points. The punishment doesn't fit the crime." And they're cracking up. They said so much misinformation as well. They said Forest has spent 265 million. Guys, can you believe it? 265 million Forest have spent. 10 points isn't enough. But hold on, when Portsmouth went into administration, they got 9 points. So should we go back and rewrite history? There's our boy Lefty right there. Shout out to him. But it was so funny to watch the saltiness. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But yeah, Graham's watched it. I'll say what he's saying there. But it's like, what have Sheffield got to do with anything? And my question to Sheffield is, if your owner had the money, the fake oil Arab that he is, to spend how much Forest have spent, would they be crying about it? Would they be crying about it? The absolute hypocrites that are that shithole of a Sheffield fan base. So, hypocrites, absolute hypocrites. Yeah, they're jealous that they can't spend it.
Showed an ambition to try and remain in this Premier League. We were hampered and hamstrung by the 2 years account in the championship, which for me is a total and utter farce. When you come up, it should be starting from then, not penalise you because you've been in. It's already difficult enough when you come up, but then to be penalised for being in the championship is beyond reason. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we got to talk about this because this came up on my timeline. I'm surprised that there are Luton YouTube channels, right? In the first place. Actually, before we just move on to that, let me get the super chats that are unrelated on there. That's what I'm coming on to. Marky boy with the £2 telling you guys there's 451 of you in here. Get those likes up. Make sure you've hit the like. Shout out to all you watching on Twitter as well. Get your comments in. We'll bring them up as they go through. Massive shout out to Stephen for 14 months. Thank you so much, Stephen. You absolute legend. And Forest till I die with the 8 months. And Mabs, I don't know if you're still in here, bro, but I did dig up the length of your subscription. I've put it in there. Now, this I want to talk about. And I don't really like giving them the air they deserve. But Sharky with the £5. Thank you so much, buddy. That's for the hitman from Luton Town Supporters Trust YouTube channel. Up the mighty Reds. So there, I think I don't know why it came up on my timeline. Thanks again, Sharky, for it. But they've got like 3 subscribers, and this dude looks like a fat James Corden, man. Literally, I was looking at him. Yeah, imagine being a fat James Corden, right? If that's even physically possible. And they're sitting there and they're going on about, oh, Notts Forest, this, we're going to keep calling you Notts Forest and all this. I'm like, do you really think that's going to make people buy? Well, apparently Sharky bit on it, yeah. But he's so fat and ugly and he supports Luton, man. And he's there just desperately trying to get some views of Forest with their 3 subscribers, man. It's an absolute embarrassment what they're doing with that team. Are you two fighting still? You and Eddie, Crypto? Do you need a little room?
Eddie's saying that I look like that Luton guy, which is true. He's got more hair than me. He's got more hair than me.
I was expecting you to come in there when he says it.
It could be, a long lost relative, but yeah. So, but you could. I watched about 5 minutes of it. I mean, it's a terribly produced thing. While I was on the toilet, so Luton and all that. So yeah, we can do the name jokes as well. But yeah, they're really worried, even with all their Notts Forest, this, that, and the other. They're worried. They got loads of injuries. I don't want to say this because I'm sick of saying this, but is this a good time for Forest to be playing yet another team that it's a good time to play for, Crypto, that we've said about 6 times in a row as a fan base and have got nothing out of? So take it away, Crypto, and chat. Is it a good time to play Luton with their apparently 10 injuries of players that I've never heard of?
I think after that Bournemouth performance the other night, I think we know exactly what we need to do, and that is go full-on attack. We may concede goals because they are pretty good. I
think he was going to say go 3-0 down, mate. I was like, where are you going with this?
That'll probably be the case. I mean, they looked good on the attack with the set pieces, but we've seen from that game that they just fell apart. And I think we've got the pace and the skill, especially in the attack, to just run them down, basically. I mean, I know Ant, for example, was very, very negative. He thought, Bournemouth were going to lose and Luton were going to batter them on. He was saying on WhatsApp.
When they were 3-0
I stayed optimistic, of course. I knew they'd come back and win.
Of course you did. Let me jump.
I think that game. I liked actually the fact that our gaffer Nuno said that he was watching the game with the coaches. Which is interesting because not
I'm sure they were cheering Bournemouth and Luton on, weren't they?
Yeah, but it's good that they're analysing the opponents that they're coming up against. So I think it's given Nuno a reason to believe, and also the team. A quick point on the FFP PSR. For me, I'd want to know ASAP. I think you just want to know and get it out of the way for me. So I agree with Ant on that.
Okay. Chat really not liking these Luton guys, man. I can't believe they've had that many views. Go on, sorry, what you said?
No, I was going to say, I mean, we've got a WhatsApp group, which we're all members of, and at 3-0 down at half time, there was a few heads gone, lost heads, and there's one dickhead as well in our chat as well. But we all kind of like, there's only one. He knows who he is.
Which one? There's loads.
Give a little bit of a nudge because of his certain. Yes, we won't say.
Ant said what everyone else was thinking, basically.
Wait, what was said? Can we share it? Because I was genuinely at football coaching Wednesday night, so I missed the first half.
Crypto lost it. We were going to lose. We're going to lose 3-0 on Saturday.
We're down. We're crap. We're shit. Luton are better than us.
I think I said.
Wipe the floor with us on Saturday.
We'll be 9 points behind.
I said we'll be 9 points into the relegation zone.
We're going to be 9 points behind.
We could have been.
Maybe now it's just pushed to Monday, and we'll be 9 points into it on Monday.
And what did you say, Ant? You said,
it was quite subtle. I don't know if you got it. It was something along the lines of.
I can remember what it was. It just said "fuck off, crypto" or something like
that. Block. Yeah, but Rob, how are you feeling? Let's touch on that game, right? Because I didn't have to ride the emotions of that first half. And again, another shout out to Jimmy who was tweeting us when I wasn't even there. I wasn't even there. He was tweeting away, man. But how are you feeling? And shout out to John, Statman John. We stand united. Bolly is forgiven, John. Bolly is forgiven, right? What were you thinking at halftime there, Rob? I don't know where you were, what you were
I've got
doing.
a mission to make. I forgot that it was happening on Wednesday, and I saw the score about 10:30. I was like, "Oh shit, it was tonight!" And then I just couldn't stop. When I saw the sequence of the goals, I just couldn't stop laughing. So I'm glad I didn't have to experience the whole roller coaster of the experience of the whole sequence of the goals. But I think I couldn't have imagined a better sequence of events leading into this game, because they must be thinking like, what have we got to do now? Because like you know how we've had some shit luck in the last few games. You know, don't want to go into referees and stuff, but we've had some shit luck. But you know, we're thinking like, what do we have to do to get even a point? But they must, I don't know, they must be desolate after that. So
they should be, and we've got to take advantage of that. Surely, if anything, I think the question was, you know, is it a good time to play them? You got to say it is. You got to say it.
Oh, no, man. No.
I'm looking forward to it. You know, a chance to face our tormentor and see them off.
It was surprising to hear what Nuno said, actually. Well, it wasn't surprising to me, but it might be surprising to some people. I mean, he's saying it's cup final, and it is a cup final. And he also said that every game's a must-win game. I picked that up. But the psychology has to be that has to be the psychology. And I know Ant's going to say, Ant's going to be all Joe pedant about it, but we're not being literal. But these are the games we have to win. Going into what's coming up with a run of games, this has got to be one. I'm actually annoyed that if we do get a result tomorrow, that we've got a bloody international break for 2 weeks before we get back into the. Is it Crystal Palace at home after this?
Can we just get through tomorroher before you start getting annoyed at the international break?
Get through tomorrow, but we have to take advantage of what's going on at the moment, and we've got to go for them. I mean, that first half, Bournemouth sat off them, and they scored 3 goals, and they looked like they were home and hosed by half time. But thankfully, they have got 2 sides to their game, and they cannot defend for toffee either. You know, you can get them straight through the middle. That's another thing. You know, we've got so much pace in our attack, but we've got to take advantage of this. The lineup for me is what's all important tomorrow. I've heard a few people saying maybe we should save some of our players for the second half. Bullshit. Go at them from the very beginning tomorrow. Play your strongest team, Nuno, please. For Christ's sake, you've made some mistakes over the last few games. And, you know, we don't want to scapegoat any player, and I certainly don't. But Ryan Yates, it just not worked. He's been captain for 3 games. We haven't scored a goal. We haven't got a point in those 3 games. That experiment is not working. He's got to bring Sangare back in, who I think, bar his petulance in the last couple of minutes and getting that yellow card, actually looked good when he came on. Other than that, he looked good. So we've got to start with our strongest team tomorrow and not let Luton off a hook for a second. We can't expect them to just get weaker in the second half. We've got to go from very first whistle tomorrow, and I hope we do that.
The thing is, Rob, the chat want you to talk. I don't know why. They're like, we want more Rob. So I'll ask you the next question.
Apart from Graham.
Graham
is like too much last time.
You can never win, mate. You can never win. You know.
Look, actually, there was one point where I started speaking and it went on for 8 minutes. So I was thinking,
you timed yourself.
You watched it back.
I was like, fucking hell, I'm still going 8 minutes later.
3,000 people that long, Rob.
That was amazing. I had so much to say about that Brighton game, but at least we found a few things out about our players. I mean, I would hope that we don't start Origi and Wood tomorrow, quite honestly, because it just didn't work. So,
really?
Yeah.
Why?
I'd agree with one of those players.
Well, I think Origi's best work, I feel like, has been at the City ground. I'm not sure he's so good away from home, actually. I want to start with the team that you put up earlier. The only one I would question in your team is whether we start with Bolly, right? It's almost like this is like a game of
he's nailed
on. What's that monster called? Adebayo, right? So he may not be fit, right?
He's not fit. He's not
season, mate.
Hang on, but he may come on as an impact sub.
No, he's out for
the rest of the season.
Definitely. Really?
Yeah.
That's not what my research was telling me.
Well, you've been listening to the BBC again. I told you. BBC and Wikipedia, isn't it?
So obviously, if he's going to feature, you want Bolly to pair off against him. I still would quite like to keep Omar Bamidele in there. I think what we should look back at the last 3 games. We've played Manchester United, Liverpool, and Brighton, and in about sort of 4 hours of football between them, they've had about 4 shots on target in those games. We've defended better than we are giving ourselves credit for. Yeah, the problem is we have not finished our chances over the last 3 games. But I actually, it comes back to: do you think Omar Bamidele had a bad game against Brighton? I don't think so. I mean, he's had a couple of mistakes over the past run of games. He gave the ball away against Villa for the 4th goal. He has sort of headed an own goal there, but I mean, Sells has punched it into the back of his head. I'm more annoyed with him for giving away the free kick. But ultimately,
which wasn't a free kick. When did you see it on Match of the Day? He has a clean tackle.
Well, my problem with Bolly is that he hasn't played since that Bournemouth game, if I'm correct. And I just think that I think it's a gamble. I would like to keep, because if you're Sells, you want consistency in front of you. So plus, I think that Omar Bamidele's maybe got a little bit more pace and stamina for what might be a very long.
I don't think that's going to be. I don't think that's going to be the threat tomorrow, mate. They've only got that Morris up front. He's the only fit striker they've got. And he's played.
He's capable, though. I mean,
I know, but he played 90 minutes. I know, but he played 90 minutes midweek. We've got nobody to take.
Yeah, well, we thought that Brighton were going to be tired, didn't we? And it turns out they weren't.
But we are talking about Championship players, really, that have stepped into the Premier League this season. We've got to take advantage of it. I don't see the threat with pace from Luton on the weekend, and Bolly would be the first name on the team sheet for me. He's one of the only defenders I can think of. Probably you'd maybe top load to it, but I can't think of a single mistake he's made this season. He's been
great. You just jinxed it.
He got sent off against Bournemouth. That was a mistake, and he got sent off against Bournemouth. That was a mistake.
That wasn't a mistake. That was a referee's mistake. That was
hang on. The first yellow card was his fault, right?
Yeah,
and second,
that wasn't his fault.
Come on, Rob. Come on, Rob. That was
I don't
even opposing fans saying that's the most outrageous decision they've ever seen.
0% to blame for being sent off against Bournemouth. He has no responsibility.
Zero.
What was the first yellow for? Was it dissent?
Okay. This is
that's a yellow. You don't get sent off for a yellow, mate.
I know, but if you're already on a yellow after 15 minutes,
and you make a
even
perfect
if you're doing
challenge,
a clean tackle.
Rob, you're losing the crowd. You're losing the crowd.
Okay.
I quit now, mate, because you've just lost it on that.
I like.
No, but I get his point.
You guys asking Rob to talk. Shut up. I mean.
Now, I get his point in a weird way. What you're saying, Rob, is the sending off was the refs. Let me just defend him for a second,
Why
right?
Are you defending him? He can defend himself as a grown lad.
I'm just clarifying his point. He's talking.
His point?
He's talking too much on an intellectual level for you commoners, right?
Right, that's right. That's
the first one wasn't his fault.
Starting blowing the whistle to start the game, and then sending MGW off with a red card, and you saying, "Well, you know, blah, 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 blah,
that's not like that."
His fault.
That's got nothing to do.
Rob, correct me if I'm wrong.
No. Let me clarify that. No, because what you're saying is you're criticising him for a mistake made by the referee.
That's not what he said. That's not what he said.
No, he's saying he shouldn't have made that challenge after the first yellow card. But the first yellow card was because he was the last man.
It doesn't mean they're going to get sent off.
All right. Who remembers what the first yellow card for? Was it dissent or a foul? I can't remember.
I think it was dissent. I was at that game, and I think it was dissent. It was a very avoidable, silly yellow card, and you've got to be more than clean after that.
Are you talking about the same game? Because that first yellow card, he was the last man, and it would have been.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
All right, yes, that's true.
He took Solanke out. Yeah,
he took one for the team. Solanke was trying to break clear. All right, fair enough.
Card was a perfect challenge, so he did nothing wrong. So,
Rob, I tried, Rob. I tried. They're right. Right on this one. I tried.
Hold on.
I want to know what you've got against Omar Bamidele.
The politician in the corner says he got booked for a defence, and then it was his fault he got sent off by the ref.
Anyway, let's. Okay, we're wasting time on semantics.
You've just wasted 10 minutes. When my point was, Roddy hasn't made a mistake this season, and I'll go back to it. He hasn't made a mistake this season. He's one of the few defenders who hasn't.
This is true.
And I'd put him straight back in. But what you're saying about Bamidele, I'm not I'm not blaming on Bamidele, but he's made a couple of mistakes that have cost us points this season already in recent games. But I think this is a time of a season where you need experience and you need people who've been there and done that in this situation. We've got 2 young lads right in the heart of our defence. Murillo shouldn't be dropped. I think Murillo will be perfect against what's his face tomorrow.
So are you all putting Murillo in? Are you all putting Murillo in?
Murillo in with Bolly. That's my pairing.
Okay, so let's pair up here, right? So, chat, I'm going to put a poll. I'm going to assume you all want Murillo in, even though I may drop him for this one. All right, Ant, give me your Murillo partner. Chat, I'm going to give you partners to go with Murillo. Let's see what the chat are feeling here. So, you were shaking your head on Omar Bamidele. What are you saying, Ant?
No, look, people think I don't like him. He's going to be a really good player.
You got an agenda, it's true.
He's still young and inexperienced, and there are times when an experienced head can be really useful, and this is one of those games. And I think Bolly, he's not put a foot wrong. He's looked. I think we've all been quite staggered at just how good he was this season before,
and he scored from a set piece.
Yeah, I mean
he didn't mean to.
He's talented.
It was a goal. I was against Man U. Why are you knocking it, man?
And the thing about Luton, right? I mean, I think it's really weird in this day and age that all football pitches aren't the same size. You know, I find it really, because obviously Luton, their only attack is down the wing, so you can't go through the middle because their pitch is, I think, 5 meters narrower than ours.
Yeah.
So that's their plan, to go down the wings. So the only threat we have is in the air. Sorry, the only threat we have to face that they have is crossers. I mean, you look at how many goals they've scored from crossers. I mean, that guy, there's one guy, is it Doughty or something? He's made like hundreds of crosses. You know what I mean? So
is he the ex-Spurs guy? Is he the ex-Spurs Wolves guy?
No, Alfie Doughty.
No,
he's a good player.
You know,
he's had more successful crosses than any other player in the league.
Yeah, honestly,
so yeah, also, just on that point, we should get their bloody set piece coach. They've scored from 13 set pieces this season. Luton have 13.
Yeah, they're not clever. They're just
no, I know, but they've scored from 13 set pieces. How many have we scored?
You can't argue, can you?
How many have we scored?
Exactly. No, you're right.
So what are you saying, Anne? You're saying Bolly. You're saying Bolly.
Yeah.
You don't sound convinced there.
No, I'm 100% convinced. 100% absolutely convinced.
Would you?
If the team sheet comes out and I'm about Bamidele, I'm not going to lose my mind, but I would 100% want Bolly there. I've got such respect for that guy for seeing what he did for us early on this season. He is a rock. So, yeah, for me, Bolly.
Okay, so let me just clarify. You and Ez are the same here. You're saying Murillo, Bolly, both of you, yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
Rob, you're saying Bamidele, Murillo, yeah?
Yeah. I suppose I am. I'm not passionate about it. I like Bolly.
I get it.
Minor disagreement. It's minor disagreement.
Yeah, but Rob, you should know by now. A disagreement.
I just think the defense is not the problem that we need to fix at the moment. It's the goal scoring is the problem, right? So
yeah, but wait.
You don't need to fix. Yeah.
Hold on. We'll get into the attack in a second. Stoney now loves you because he loves Omar Bamidele, so by default he loves Rob, right? Crypto, what's your take on this? Who are you pairing up?
So I mean, although
and if you say Worrell, I'm booting you off. Okay, let's get the Worrell joke out.
Not likely, is it?
Yeah.
No, although Ant single-handedly retired Felipe, I'm going to agree with him and say Murillo and Bolly because I think that Bolly's one of the best headers of the ball. He doesn't make mistakes. I see what you're saying, Rob. Omar Bamidele and Murillo have been a good pairing, but we've got to get rid of the mistakes. The mistakes are what are costing us the game, and we can't afford to lose any more games. For me, it's a must-win. So, Bolly, look, he's an AFCON champion. We know he's strong at the back.
He didn't play. He's the freaking John Terry of AFCON, man. He's
a cheerleader like Lingard. He's brilliant. So, no, look, Bolly's solid.
And tell him that.
We need defensive headers of the ball. I'm almost tempted to say, but I won't because I think Murillo's so good. But I'd almost be tempted to say Felipe and Bolly.
I'd be on board with that. Yeah.
Serious question: when did Bolly actually play a full game of football?
Bolly was brilliant.
I don't care.
Bolly
I
was
don't know why you've got an
undroppable.
agenda against Bolly. I mean, it's nearly as bad as you.
What's your agenda, bro?
I think
have you got a Bolly
gamble that we
agenda,
don't
Rob?
need to take. It's a gamble
got-
that we don't need. What?
But Rob,
the
do you
main
not
problem,
think
Rob,
the main problem
Check
with
on
players coming
SofaScore.
back after a long
Is he
time
listening
out
to
is
consult-
fitness and pace, and he doesn't need that. He's never had it.
Okay,
need to
all right.
look at the
Different
type
from a
of
winger
goals
or a
conceded.
forward
One at a time.
coming back after a long time. A defender, slot straight in, mate. He's been training, not an issue.
We've conceded 18 goals from set pieces. That's by far the most in the league. I think it's 5 or 6 more than the next team. And Bolly is brilliant at defensive headers. So 100% I'd have Bolly in there alongside Murillo.
But everyone's going on about Bolly in the air. He's good on the ground as well. You don't get
Yeah, he
past
doesn't
him.
make
for
mistakes.
reason, man.
He's
You
good
can't
at
push him off
passing.
the ball.
No.
Passing. He's not very quick, but he's a solid defender.
Let's
You're not
okay.
pushing him off the ball.
You mean
You're not
tackling and
beating him
stuff
in the
like
air.
that, rather than spraying balls about. You mean tackling and stuff, yeah?
Yeah,
So-
yeah, absolutely. He's not the best
Yeah.
distributor of the ball,
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
we've got other players who can do that, so we don't need to rely on him. For
So
that.
are you lot culling off Niakate then? Has he just
Yeah.
been
Yeah,
forgotten about?
Niakate has been disappointing, man.
After
Even if
that
throwing-
performance at left back,
I wouldn't
He's
mind
not a
playing
left back.
Niakate. I wouldn't mind that.
no.
I would have thrown
People-
Niakate in that
people have
moment.
forgotten
I'd have
how good he is,
Felipe
by the way.
before Niakate.
Yeah, I would.
Niakate for me is
I
probably
would.
falling to the back of the pack.
Wow.
Yeah, well, you
Agenda.
Well,
Agenda.
you know what? As a left-sided centre back, I think Murillo's
Yeah,
ahead of
probably.
him. So then you're going to have to put.
Yeah.
Isn't
No, I
it?
agree
So
with that.
you
But
run
I
around
think we were saying if it
playing-
wasn't Murillo, then Niakate. People are forgetting how good Niakate is.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
let me ask the chat this, then I need to read some super chats out. All right, little crazy
I
one.
need to
Would
go.
anyone
Yeah, I
go?
agree with Nick.
Just yes or no, chat. Would anyone go Felipe and Bolly
Yeah,
at the
great.
back with Murillo as the CDM in front of them alongside Sangare?
Yeah,
That's not for you lot on the panel. You don't deserve to answer that.
No.
You don't deserve to answer that. I got to do
I
the
know you're
super
trying to
chat.
drag the show out of it, but come on, man.
Shut up.
Shocking
We'll do the
take that
super
is.
chats. All right. I can't see him yet because I'm looking at the super chat screen. Brandon with the £2. Thank you so much. Jimmy targeting Forest is funny, hypocritical. Jimmy, Brandon said it all. I love the salt. I love the salt. Was up with another £3 super chat. Thank you so much, Warren, man. Really do appreciate it, buddy. And Andrew Swift has swiftly, like I did there, donated £5. Thank you so much, Andrew, for the £5. Keep those super chats coming in. And just a quick update on the Murillo shirt. As I expected, you guys are going crazy on that sign framed Murillo shirt. 106 tickets have already gone. There's only 43 left. So if you want
Good
them,
job you had a word with him, innit?
I did have a word with them because it was.
Good job you did.
Yeah,
Could have been embarrassing.
there's the shirt, signed, framed, Murillo,
With the
number
right number on the
40.
back.
It was number 4, but we got it corrected. And if you get ticket 100, let us know in the chat if you get the Callum Hudson-Odoi one.
Yeah,
It's not
that's the
Felipe
win.
one, but I'd still be annoyed that you got it. And style. So yeah, 43 tickets left. Get those in
Good luck, guys.
before it's too late. Okay. I mean, it's taken us that long just to argue the centre backs, guys. And looking at the chat's poll here,
I'm gonna check the
Bolly's got
likes.
68% possession of the vote. Felipe and Omar Bamadelli 12% each in second place, and then Niakate. Poor Niakate, man, what has he done? What is the agenda against him?
How
He's down
quickly
with
people
8%.
forget.
How quickly they forget, indeed.
Can we just
Okay,
do a quick
let's-
like check.
Can I ask Rob
Yeah.
not to bully out our super chatters and things? He's telling people you should put a.
No, that's only my own dad could do a super chat without actually
Was
putting.
that your dad?
Yeah, I showed him. He asked
Could've
me how
said.
to do it. He asked me
You
how
could've
to do it before the stream, and I showed him what to click on. But he's obviously forgot to type the actual comment.
That one,
you know.
Andrew.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but-
your dad, is it?
Technical skills are not up to scratch.
Yeah, but Rob,
That's your dad.
what you fail to realise
Oh, fair
is-
news, fair news.
what you
better
fail
mind.
to realise is your dad has spoken more sense without saying anything than you have all stream.
We get him on next week.
What we found out from that, Rob, is that now it all makes sense because you've even got an agenda against your own dad.
Well, no, I showed him. He obviously has nothing to say. He just wants to pay my appearance fee. That's absolutely fine.
It's a good job because nobody else was paying it.
Exactly. Yeah. Big shout out to Rob's dad. Big shout out to Rob's dad. Okay, let's try and move this forward. In fact, I want to jump to the strikers next. I think that's the second most interesting debate here. Let's kick it off for you, Crypto. Wood versus Taiwo versus Ribeiro versus who else we got? Origi. Who's your starter here? Let's do another poll for the chat as well. Oh, but did you want to do a like count as he's gone? Screw him.
Yeah, no, I'm here. Yeah, well, there's over.
We got over 600 in here, 128 likes. 608 in here, 128 likes.
Yeah, guys, on
300.
Can we get to at least 250 before the end of the
300.
show?
300.
Okay, 300 before the end of the show.
This is late night gore, man. This is late night gore. It needs 300 likes. So let's talk strikers.
I've had to delay my cocoa for this, young man.
Exactly.
Yeah. Put some context into that. Guys, can I just quickly say it is because Wolfie and I are fasting, so we've had to start these shows a little bit later. So just do bear with us while we get through these next few weeks, and bless you all, guys, for jumping on. But I knew you'd come on. Friday night, we thought, you guys ain't got lives, you ain't got anywhere to go, so you'll be here.
Maybe they prefer it this way. I don't know.
That's me being nice. That's me being nice. But bless you guys for jumping on.
Yeah. Maybe the chat prefers it this late. I don't know. All right, Crypto. No, you got Twitter as well, Mark. Twitter as well. Shitload on Twitter. Hi, Twitter. People talk to us on Twitter now. People watch us on Twitter. Cool. Yeah. 234 on Twitter.
Oh, X. All right. X. I'm
sorry,
with the kids.
Oh, don't entertain that. It's Twitter.
West Ham style. Yeah, West Ham style.
I'm with Rob. I'm part of the people, Rob.
We'll call it what we bloody well like,
Yeah.
All right, Crypto, shut them up. Crypto.
Right, you lot shut up. I'm going to tell you who should play tomorrow. A striker.
Oh, right.
I'm going to say Awani. I thought Wood last game fell into a bit of a nobody again. I don't really blame him because I did say that. I don't like the partnership with Origi and Wood on the pitch at the same time. I think they're good players, but not at the same time. Origi wants
Wood's not the issue there, is he?
Let him finish.
No, but I listened to you guys going on about Wood last week for an hour.
Let him finish, and then you can tell him. Then you can slap him down, man. My God, no one can have an opinion anymore without you like shooting him down, man. Go on. I'm probably going to agree with you.
Nip it in the ball.
Origi likes to cut inside, as did Dominguez, because let's be honest, Dominguez is not a natural winger. So starting Wood with Dominguez and Origi was never going to work. So I'm not blaming Wood, but where we saw, especially last season, where Wood kind of disappears into a nothing role because he doesn't have the right service. Now, if you're going to start Callum Hudson-Odoi and Elanga, they're the perfect pairing to have Wood in the middle because they can whip crosses in. However, well said, Eddie. However, I think Taiwo's pace tomorrow is what we want. So I can understand why you would want to start Wood if you start the correct wingers. But I think against Luton, we'd like to see some pace. So I'm going to go for Awani tomorrow. If he's match fit. If he's not match fit, then it would be Wood.
Well, your whole argument last week was that he's not match fit. He's not match fit.
Well,
he should be match fit by now. It's another week.
Still, I don't
know why you got an agenda against Taiwo. He's one of our best players.
I think you got an agenda against yourself, mate. But I actually would start with Wood tomorrow, because if you look at the reverse fixture, he should have probably scored about 5 goals in that game. But he was a threat to them, and I think the way we should be playing, I don't think the issue was Wood being on the pitch. I think it was pairing up with Origi. It didn't work. Origi didn't work. We need to be playing the back than that.
The problem with the Brighton game was Danilo gave the ball away constantly.
There was problems all over the pitch, but we didn't get the ball into the box. You're playing Chris Wood. You need to be getting.
Yeah, Wood had zero service. Wood had zero service in that game. You just got to look at the goals that he scored away at Brentford, at home to Sheffield United. From crosses onto his head from either Elanga or Hudson-Odoi. So Wood could do the job tomorrow. I would still pick Taiwo to start though. But they're both going to feature. I would be happy with either. But I think Wood didn't get the service last week, but he could have staked a claim, and he didn't do enough in that Brighton game. And I'm normally his biggest defender, so I would go back to Taiwo for this.
But Rob, isn't that always an argument?
Ball?
Isn't that always an argument for Wood? Like, if he's played crap, people blame the service. If he played good, it's because of him. Isn't that a bit of a binary argument on Wood? I'm not saying I disagree, but that's the argument I always hear.
I think the combo of Origi and Wood did not work in the way I hoped it would, right? Because I said before that Brighton game, I think Origi's played some very intelligent through balls, and I was hoping that Wood was going to spring the offside trap like he did away at Newcastle. It just even get to that. Danilo just kept giving the ball away. The most important thing we can do for our attack tomorrow is to not have Danilo on the pitch, right? Because
agenda.
I love him, but I just don't think that tomorrow is the game for him. I just really don't. I like
the reverse fixture.
Oh, let me be there.
All right, let Ant in. Let Ant in. He's gonna wee himself if he doesn't go now.
Ant's definitely saying Taiwo.
No, I was about to grab some of my argument. That was all. Yeah, Wood was superb against Luton, mate. Absolutely superb against Luton. And I don't think that last week against Brighton is a fair assessment of what Wood is capable of contributing because of we had no wingers. We had no wingers. He's a big lanky striker. You know what I mean? I absolutely love Taiwo. I mean, I'm wearing Taiwo's shirt tonight.
Which you won for free, by the way, chat, of football prizes. Let's brown envelopes and all that.
Yeah.
It was only free.
First draw as well, wasn't it?
I'm not going to go into it. So, but honestly, he's been shocking. He has been shocking. I don't just mean he's been poor. I mean he's been shocking. He's not fit.
Yeah, Are you talking about?
Owonyi.
He hasn't been back.
Continue.
Now, if he's had a week's training and he's fit, brilliant. But I don't know that. I can only go on what I know. And what I know that at this current time, for me, Chris Wood is a more effective striker than Taiwo Owonyi. Because without fitness, Taiwo's got nothing. He's not got technical ability.
It wasn't effective at all.
Right? Eh?
Wood wasn't effective at all last game.
Have you not heard what I just said? Do you listen to people when they're talking? I just said.
Yeah, I get your point, but Taiwo would put himself about.
Taiwo would have put himself about. Not in his current state of fitness. He wouldn't have put himself about. I've seen it. I'm there, mate. I watch him. 20 yards away from me. I can see it in his face. He ain't fit, or he's not been fit. And obviously, he's had some training since. So
but if he's fit. If he's fit, is he as good as we make him out to be? Let's be honest now, right? Or is he just in the right place at the right time?
It depends on who you're talking to. I mean, some people think he's the best player in the world, and some people think he's crap. So it depends who you're speaking to. For me, he's not a great striker. And like I said earlier on, 50 million, I'd snap your hands off. And I've seen quite a few tweets after that saying, actually, I can see what you're saying. So,
Can I?
You will never see Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Tottenham. You will never see them come in for Taiwo Owonyi.
Well, Robbie wants him at Arsenal after the match. He wanted him.
Yeah, he told us to our face.
Robbie only watches him against Arsenal.
Owonyi played in the away game at Bournemouth.
Yeah,
that was 6 weeks ago, right? So maybe 6 weeks ago we were rushing him back too soon, but you can't say. 6 weeks into his comeback, this is what we get now, right? This is 100% Owonyi, right? The idea that he's going to sort of improve from this. No, this is it now, right? So I don't think we should be shielding and more making excuses for him. He is 6 weeks into his comeback, right? This is the longest ever comeback for. So I would pick him.
Can I just finish my point before you go on?
He's got a knack of scoring in big games and getting us big results. That's why I would pick him.
Okay, go on, Ant. Finish your point.
Taiwo is, as I say, not a great striker, but I'm not slagging him off. I love the guy. He scored some brilliant, vital goals for us.
If I had £1 for every time you said you love a guy,
don't retire him on stream.
I'm not actually looking back, but we need to tell him and get a proper striker that can stay fit for a start. And Chris Wood, I mean, I was as much anti-Chris Wood as anybody, but you can only go on what you see, and you're allowed to change your mind about players. And I've been impressed with his contribution, not just his goals, but his contribution. And I think against Luton Town especially, he's the ideal man. He proved that in the first game against them. So if providing, and this is a big test for Nuno as well, this is the game where I will make my mind up about him, because I've been extremely supportive of him, but last week kind of disappointed me a little bit. If he doesn't pick the team that I think he should pick,
Nuno out.
Nuno out. No, if he doesn't, because he always says he wants to go for it. Well, we'll see on Saturday. If I see the team that was put out, and I don't think he will, I think he's learned. I'm hoping he's learned from that. He seems to have kind of admitted it was a mistake. He said what he wanted to do and it didn't work. And that's kind of like admitting that maybe we shouldn't have done it. Hopefully he's learned from that. We need to play our most attacking side that we can.
But I don't think Chris
Wood on one side, Elanga on the other, and for me, Chris Wood in the middle. It's a squad game. Doesn't mean Taiwo can't come on after 70 minutes.
I don't think Chris Wood is our most attacking player. He spends a lot of time in defence.
Yeah, but is that a bad thing?
That's another positive. That's another positive.
Yeah, I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying if we want to go full attack, in my mind, that's a one-y. That's running.
Because one you can't get up there. He can't get up there. It's honestly, mate. Have you not seen him? Seriously,
it's only been a month or so. We were comparing him to Haaland.
I've seen
I wasn't.
I've seen a competitor podcast with a Luton guy on, and a 1 year is the player that they're scared of. A 1 year is the player they're scared of.
They don't know what they're talking about.
From corners. Yeah.
I think they're
shit other people are trying. Other people don't watch as well.
They've got a patch together defence.
I wouldn't watch this.
So the guy they've got three. They had three at the back against Bournemouth, and the guy they've got at left back. I can't remember the Japanese guy's name, but he's normally like a right wing back or something, and he's playing like left side of central defence. So
Hashioka.
I think what the Luton guy said is that it's the pace and the power that is going to trouble them at the back. So if for one you can actually produce that might be what unlocks them in the first half. So I would start with him.
Okay, so just a quick round robin, and then I want to bring Ez in. So just to confirm, you're saying who, Rob, to start?
I'll definitely start with Taiwo. But, if it's not working, bring Wood on at half time.
We're not giving one word answers.
Don't give Wood 10 minutes at the end. What I'm saying is...
Taiwo, Ez?
I'm going with Chris Wood.
And you look like you're...
Chris Wood.
What's he doing?
He's got Chris Wood next to him. No wonder
he's getting the Murillo shirt ticket.
I'm replying to a dickhead in the comments if you really want to know.
I didn't think your brother was in tonight.
All right, Crypto, what are you saying? FFTV scapegoat.
I'm going to balance it out and say Taiwo, so it's two each.
Okay. The chat is saying Taiwo 58%, Wood 33%. Origi's on 0. Poor Origi, man. Ribeiro got 9% and Origi got 0. That's a harsh one. Okay. Ez, I want to move this on to something I've been thinking about lately, right? Has Nuno started to become too defensive in terms of the mentality he's setting the team up in? Because if you look at the first few matches, even the ones we won, some of the ones we've lost, we were always in the game attacking goals. As Kevin Keegan style football, would score 2, the opponents would score 3, and what have you. It almost feels, has Nuno taken a step back to be a bit more defensive, semi-Cooper-esque, dare I say? And if you agree with that, do you think that's the right approach?
Well, we spoke about it on Coppish, didn't we? Where we said what we expected is what they expected as well, that Nuno's going to come in and fix the defense first and foremost. And that's not what happened. You know, we started off in a real positive way under Nuno, scoring goals for fun. And we were top of that stats for a few weeks, weren't we? And averaging 2 goals a game. And it's just the last 3 games where we've not only failed to take our chances, we're not really creating the amount of chances we were before, especially on a counter-attack, which is, again, one of the areas where we are doing particularly well in the stats. So I feel like he's kind of reverted to type, but it's not working. He's got to find that balance, because when we were scoring goals freely, it didn't bother me when we went behind. You know, when we conceded a goal, I thought we were always going to get back into the game. And I certainly didn't feel that against Brighton. We all said we could have played another hour and we wouldn't have scored last weekend. But I hope that he finds that balance and he gets that right. But I think the experiment, and I touched on it earlier, with starting with Ryan Yates, I think he's got to drop that and he's got to realise that that has been a mistake. And if, for whatever reason he's done it, whether it's to ease Sangare back into the squad and back into the first team, it's just not worked. He's got to start with Sangare tomorrow. He's got to start with Dominguez. I agree with Rob said earlier. I think Danilo was really poor, and he's been like that this season. He's had a good game, bad game, and he's not had too much consistency. When he's good, he's really good, but when he's poor, he causes us problems, and it didn't work, that experiment with lineup last week for me. So he's got to be positive from the start. I've said that. Play your best team. Play your most attacking team tomorrow. And for me, the most attacking team has got that solid base. I love that thumbnail. Has got that solid base.
When did you go white?
It's like Ant with a beard. If Ant's beard grows, that's what he would look like. But yeah, no, I'd be positive tomorrow, mate. I think he has tried to be more defensive. It's just not worked because it's cost us in the final third. But we've not taken our chances. We simply haven't taken our chances in the last few games. So he has to get that balance right tomorrow. Don't be too defensive. Certainly against
that's just thrown me that picture. So let me just get the super chats in quickly. Jan, thank you so much for the 40. And as always, Ant, what is it?
Swedish krona.
Thank you very much, Jan. You're an absolute legend. Thank you so much, bro. Si, thank you so much for the super. Stay as you are, and he says, yeah, don't turn into white Ez. I want to know, like, quote unquote, Ez in the chat, right? Who were you before that? It's just doing my head. I've lost it. I don't know. That's thrown me. Who wants to talk next, Bucket? I can't. Know.
Well, can I just shout out to Dean, who met me in the co-op the other day. Nice.
All right, what are you doing? I'm going to the toilet, so shout out away and then talk about something.
I mean, we didn't swap. No, I nearly said something rude then. I know it's after the watershed, but yeah.
What did you swap?
No, we didn't swap anything. Pleasantries. We swapped pleasantries. There were no. I nearly said it again. I'm not going to say it. Move on because I'm going to say something.
No, you brought it up. This was your segue.
Yeah, you said you were swapping something in the aisle of the co-op.
Yeah. So nice one, Dino.
Yeah, okay, was that it? Was that it?
Yeah, that was it.
Right, no, so
can we talk
about okay, you guys jump on it.
The
question to me was, has Nuno become a bit defensive in the last few games? And I think he has. Yeah. Does he need to get that right? Does he need to go on the front foot tomorrow? Which is
but I think we're losing it in the midfield. Not mentioning any names, but I thought Danilo and Yates had a pretty bad game last game. We're not controlling the midfield. That is a crucial point of the pitch. If you control the midfield, you take the pressure off your defense. I think another thing that hampered it was he didn't start the wingers. That was a massive mistake. Like, you're not starting Callum Hudson-Odoi and Elanga. They're arguably two of your best players. Our team, when we're playing best, is based on pace, and he took the pace out. And the midfield had a bit of a mare as well. So, look, if you're going to invite that much pressure onto the defence, mistakes will be made. Going back to Rob's point earlier, there's nothing wrong with Amabamidele, but we need to cut the mistakes out because that's the two biggest things: mistakes and set pieces. If we cut them out of our game, that's the defensive side over. We've got a strong defensive side. The other side of the pitch, we need to start scoring goals again. We were averaging 2 goals a game under Nuno, and now it's basically dropped to none. So he needs to get the pace back in, and he needs to get some players into midfield who can play the ball forward and progress the ball forward.
I know it's a stat I brought up earlier, but it's no coincidence, is it? 3 games as Yates has started, and he started as captain as well.
We've said it before. He's a super sub at best. We need Sangare on that pitch tomorrow. I know a lot of people don't agree, but we need to give him a proper run in the team. People said last game, Sangare was crap. he wasn't crap. He made 3 or 4 brilliant balls. He was crossing the pitch. He was putting it over their defence. I thought he was actually really good, Sangare, for the 20 minutes or so that came on. He needs a full game.
Hey,
can I
He
He needs a full game. We need to trust Sangare to come good, to show us his potential.
Ben, can I chuck a stat at you?
Yeah.
I learned this today off somebody.
Yeah.
Sangare came on for the last 20 minutes, I think, of the final, and he won more headed duels than anybody else had made during the entire match.
Exactly.
That makes him a World Cup winner.
Tackling is good. His duels are good. His passes, his forward passes, which I think is where we really lack. Those progressive passes to open up the other team's defense and midfield. That's what we miss. And that's exactly what Sangare will give us. Maybe we haven't seen it yet. And that's why some people are a bit unsure if he should start or not. But that's what he's there to do. And he showed it briefly against.
You saw it with his first pass against Brighton. I think it was one where he clipped out to the wing to was it to Alanga? Perfect.
3 or 4 of those.
You don't get that from Yatesy. You just don't get that from Yatesy. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked. That's an experiment that Nuno's got to put his hands up to. That hasn't worked in the last few games, and we haven't scored in those games either. So it's gone from scoring 2 goals a game to 3 blanks, and we're going into it because if we'd gone into this game with having scored goals in that same rate, even if we hadn't got results, we'd have a bit more positivity. I don't know where Ant's gone, but yeah, he's got to start with Sangare for me. I don't care what the ones who want to critique him want to say because of his price tag, because that's what we're cutting him down for, his price tag, and he doesn't look like he's interested. Now that's just his mannerisms. I don't think I've ever seen him even at Eindhoven. He didn't look like he was enjoying the game. That's just how he looks. That's how he looks, you know.
Yeah.
So
he's got to be on that pitch.
So what are you saying, Rob? Who's your 2? Who's your 2?
Oh, definitely Dominguez and Sangare. I mean,
so you're dropping Yates.
Yeah, just think about it. Imagine if Sangare hadn't played for us all season and we just signed him now. We'd be thinking, great, can't wait to see what he's going to do. Oh my God, how many other lookalikes are we going to have?
Rob was,
Boise.
That was a bit like him as well.
Boise from Only Schools and Horses. Didn't look anything like that.
To be fair, Rob, that was not as bad as the Hitler comment earlier.
Yeah,
that's a little hard.
You'd want to get us cancelled.
Anyway, carry on, Rob. So on midfield
I think we're all in full agreement about Sangare. Definitely. I mean, he looked decent when he came on last game, and that's one of the small things that we got out of the Brighton game, which was a chance to sort of ease him back into the team. He's our big signing, and tomorrow's our big game. He has to start. End of discussion.
Who is this? Who's trolled me?
You can't do it while the comments are up, you better. I agree with Simon. Ever since freaking Tom called out Sangare, and Tom's in the chat, shout out to Tom. Yeah, he's just been, there's just an agenda. Do you know what? We got to talk about this agenda against Sangare. And what is the agenda against him? Chat, I know some of you have an agenda. Don't hide. If you got an agenda, fair play. I got plenty of agendas, yeah? But why is there such an agenda against him? Is it his price tag?
Partly price tag. They're expecting Diego Maradona in his prime, whereas in actual fact, 30 million is cheap for a Premier League player.
Yeah.
We're going over old ground here. We discussed this a week ago.
Yeah, shut up, Rob. It's somebody else's turn to speak. He's had a very, very interrupted season. I think that is the biggest issue we've had with him. He's played 12 games for us out of how many, including cups, 30 odd. So he's had a very disrupted season. He's had injury. He's had AFCON. He's had different partners. So he's never been able to get into a settled position in the settled side.
Sounds like you in the co-op the other day.
Yeah. Okay. Have you finished?
Sorry, go on.
He's never been able to find his role in a settled side. So people think he's crap because people don't watch football.
Yeah, but is it to do with this? Is it to do with this? Brett might be onto something here. Is it because he potentially takes the place of an academy player? You know, Nottingham / Lincoln born and bred.
I think that is a genuinely, part of possibly.
Are you doing
people.
what he did last weekend? Every time he says somebody else's name, you jump in. He said my name.
Yeah.
Them
And
are
yeah,
names.
I was talking before he
No, you
interrupted
were
me.
Sorry, I did
No,
interrupt you.
He
Aaron.
interrupted me.
Okay, fair play. I'll let you off.
Go on, Ant.
Go on.
Yeah, so I think that, and the fact that he has a language style, people like players to run around kicking people. That's what people like.
Yeah, he doesn't need to do that, does he?
Sangare is more languid than that. That doesn't mean he doesn't cover as much ground. It doesn't mean that he puts as much effort in. It's just the way he is. We've seen players like that before. I mean, even Bergkamp used to get accused of that when he first came over.
But the fact of the matter is, we haven't seen him paired with
We missed
Dominguez.
this guy. Big style.
Big
Oh,
time.
why did I bring it
on
up?
you, Ez. This is on you, Ez.
We
Oh,
would
no,
not
no, we're not gone there.
You retired Mangala from our team.
We would not be in our position if Mangala had stayed.
Mangala
We would have
Messiah.
several more
Yeah.
points if Mangala
Brilliant.
had stayed.
You drove
Okay,
Mangala.
wait.
As you've just said yourself, Yates has been captain for 3 games. We've not scored a goal. Not like
Yeah,
women.
he should have played Sangare. He should have played Sangare, not
Yeah, but
Mangala.
Sangare is injured or away. At least you've got
He's
Mangala
not.
to put
No,
in there.
but-
who's
no,
a
but he
far
wasn't.
better-
He-
Let's not talk about that because your agenda against Mangala.
exactly. You brought it up. I didn't.
Frankly,
Sickening.
because
It's
you've
the
been a big
most
fan of
sickening
it.
agenda
No, it
of the whole
staggers me.
season. The Mangala agenda is
Every game we
it's
used to go
like
down
when
to
Rob
the mat.
said he would
We
run
used to
over
say,
Bobby.
"Oh, Mangala."
Oh, shut up.
Thank you. Let me just one time I'm going to talk about Mangala. This is aimed at Crypto and aimed at Ant. Okay. If we
I
have
don't give
a
a shit
foot...
what you say.
No, it's a question. It's a question.
If you're
If we
gonna
had-
insult our Mangala,
Let me just ask the damn question, then you can come back however which way you two please, right? If we had a fully fit set of midfielders, who's your starting 2 and the 6 and the 8? Crypto, you can go first.
So it would be dependent. Hang on a sec. It'd be dependent on the game. I would start probably Dominguez and Sangare. However, as soon as we go a few goals up, I would have Mangala on that pitch. As soon as the 60th minute comes, I would have Mangala on that pitch. If Sangare is injured, I'd have Mangala on that.
That's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you. Your first answer was fine. All right. You said Dominguez.
Yates is not a good enough backup.
Oh, you said Dominguez and Sangare. And same question. Fully fit midfield. Who's the 2?
easy. Dominguez and Sangare, easy.
Okay, let's move on.
I don't even have to think about it.
Let's move
But
on then.
if one of the, but if one of those is injured, which Sangare's been injured quite a bit, mate.
That's what we said.
And Mangala's
And
next man up, not yet.
Ez said,
Not
it's
yet.
only a few games. It's only a
Mangala.
few games. It hasn't. It's been like 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because Mangala would have
go.
Mangala would have made all the difference. Yeah.
He
that
All
would
right,
have
enough.
been-
It
Enough.
would've made a
Enough
massive
Mangala.
difference. It would've made
Oh
a
my god, I
massive
love
difference.
Mangala, but you lot are making me hate him. Seriously.
Yeah, but Ez
Okay.
is doing the same to me. Ez is making me say things because it's just ridiculous what he's saying.
What?
About,
Did I bring it up?
Mangala's crap
Did I
has
bring
made
it
no
up? Whoa, whoa,
difference.
whoa. Did I bring
He
any
used,
of
he
this
used
up?
to worship Mangala.
Why are you
I
blaming
tell
me?
you, he used to worship
What's-
him.
We
First
used
name
to
on
say
the sheet.
Mangala was one of the best players, and now you lot hate him, and I don't know why.
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
made such a difference in that first 18 or so games, didn't he? Because we won so many fucking games with Mangala.
Yeah, because
in
we
there.
might have fucking
All right,
been down
enough.
already.
Yeah,
Dan,
enough.
and Mangala.
Pressure on the
Why
defense.
did
Yeah,
I bring
we've
it
been
up?
down already.
Did I
I'm
bring
talking
it
about
up?
that.
Chat, did
Time.
I bring it up?
Time. I4, you need to
I didn't bring it
apologize to the chat for
You
bringing
did,
it
you
up.
bring it up. It
For
was
bringing it
you,
up.
wasn't it? You brought it up.
Let's
I can't
let's
believe it's an
move.
argument.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't
Mangala
believe the argument.
Gate. That's how
Let's
serious we
move
got.
on. Let's move on. Let's bring some order to this. So
What's
there is a
wrong with
match
saying,
tomorrow.
yeah, it was a good player and we've missed
It's done.
him. What's wrong
It's
with saying
done.
that?
It's done.
But
It's
what's wrong
done.
with saying
It's
that?
done.
Why do
Yeah,
you have to
Collingwood
paint
was
done.
a good player. We missed him as
yourself
well. What
into
are you
a
going to do
corner
about it?
because you hate the guy so much now? Why do you have to paint yourself into a corner and make yourself look stupid by saying he's crap and he wouldn't have made any difference? Why
Who
can't
said
you just
that?
like with Stone
And that
Collingwood,
point was
Who
bollocks
said
as
that?
well, because we tried to
Stone
buy that
Collingwood left,
striker
I didn't turn
20
around. Did you, when Stone Collingwood left, I didn't turn around and say, well, it's shit, it wouldn't have made any difference.
When did I say that?
It's a sickening agenda
always
against
tell
When
you
did I say that? I said we haven't got him. Why are we arguing about a player?
We're
we
not doing
haven't
a late
got?
one again.
Mangala is injured. He
Muppets.
did not play.
Is he injured?
Yes,
Is he
he
injured after all that?
Leon
Rob,
beat
Rob,
Toulouse
Rob,
3-2.
I'm
He's not
disappointed in you,
even on
Rob.
the bench.
Rob, I'm disappointed in you because that is totally irrelevant. Because when the player gets injured playing in another country, it doesn't mean he would have got injured playing
They're
in this
paying
country,
his
does it?
wages and he's injured. What a fantastic business.
Yeah, but that's bollocks. He wouldn't have been injured if he was playing with us.
Enough.
Oh my God, he would have scored a
Enough.
hat-trick against
That's
Liverpool.
hypothetical.
Oh, we are not going into a butterfly effect here. Enough. Right. We got an important game tomorrow. Right. I love you, Mangala. But if your name ever comes up on this stream again, me and you are having words on X or Twitter, right? Okay. let's bring some order back to this.
I did say Sangare and Dominguez, though. I did say that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, so that was the end of the argument. Anyway, so Roberto, right? There's a game tomorrow. How do you see?
I don't know.
How do you see this playing out, realistically?
Well, it's a mustn't lose game for both teams.
Don't say words like that. You're going to make him jump all over you now.
But I think both teams are going to be probably more worried about losing it. So when you get those, you tend to end up with a draw and nobody's satisfied. So I would say that's still the most likely result. But I think it's going to be a score draw because neither team can keep a clean sheet. And I think both teams are talking about throwing the kitchen sink at it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a bit of a cagey affair when it starts. But I just think it'll be... I don't think either team can defend a lead. If we go in front, we'll let in a 98th minute equaliser. And if Luton go 3-0 up, we'll score 3 goals. I just think it's going to be a draw. It's going to be a draw. It's going to be an anti-climax after all this.
Is that good or bad for us, Rob?
I'd take it. I'd take a draw. I'd take a draw.
Really?
Yeah. I think because we're away. We're away from home, and look, you were talking about the doomsday scenario, which is like they beat Bournemouth, we lose away, and then we get 6 points, right?
Yeah.
We're already 4 points better than that if we get a draw tomorrow, right? So, yeah. I think they need to beat us more than we need to beat them. I'm not saying go and set up for a draw. I'm predicting a draw. A draw.
He sounded like
my prediction is right. Look, the last game between these two teams was a 2-2 draw. I think it's going to be the same result. I think it's the most likely outcome.
Okay, wait. So let's play out your scenario. We draw. That puts the gap still at 3 points. We then, let's assume we lose 6. That puts us 3 behind them. I said, let's assume. Let's play the hypothetical game, right?
Right. We draw 2-2, and then we do a deal with the Premier League or whoever. We take the 3 points, agreeing not to appeal it, and then it's even Stevens at the end of Monday. And
I don't care about that. I'm playing in the Wolverine world.
9 games. Sorry?
I'm doing the Wolverine world here. Let's say 6. Let's just pretend it's going to be 6. So worst case scenario 6. Can we agree on that?
Oh, yeah, I hope that's the worst case.
Yeah, it's possible, but we would appeal that, and then it would go on forever.
But are you saying if we go 3 points behind them come Tuesday, that a draw would have been good enough?
No, because look, this is what I said at the start of the podcast. I think they're waiting to see what we get out of tomorrow, and then they'll know what they can accept without appealing it. The Premier League want to get out of this without an appeal that goes on over the end of the season, right?
I agree there.
They can't just let us off. And of course, it's linked to the outcome of tomorrow's match.
Rob, you're losing the crowd. Right. Seriously, I'm reading the comments.
Right. Okay. Normally, I don't like to make predictions, but let's see if this is a 2-2 draw, right? Because I think that is the most likely result.
Rob, I guarantee it won't be a 2-2 draw like last time because Mangala's not playing like last time.
Right. Let's stop talking shit, man. Let's just get to the end.
I do always predict wrong, but
based on the last result, we should be 3 points better off already. That should not have happened. We should not have given up that lead, and certainly shouldn't have made the substitutions that he made. So, based off that, people seem to think that the decision's being made, but this decision's already been made. It just hasn't been announced yet. So tomorrow's result plays no factor in whether they give us 6 points or 3 points. It makes no difference. The decision has already been made. They just haven't told anybody yet. That's all it is. So don't think that the decision's going to be made after the weekend. That's not the case.
It would have leaked out.
No,
not on this occasion. Not on this occasion. So, based on, like, say, we should have beat them in that last game. We have to win. Why are we going to be happy with 2 points off Luton throughout the season?
Right.
So the fact If we'd won the home game, then I would have said, yeah, a point tomorrow is fine, because we would have been, like I said, 3 points better off. But for me, we have to win tomorrow, and we can't go into it with a mentality of a draw would have been good enough. If Nuno's true to his word, and every game's we go out, every game's a must-win game, which is what he said. I'm quoting Nuno. Then he has to go out with that mentality. I've not seen that in the last game anyway. In the last couple of games, we've looked good, but we haven't taken our chances. Tomorrow, we have to create a lot more chances, and we've got to go at them from the start. So I'm not going to go into that with saying a draw is going to be a good result. I want us to go out and win, and everything's on the win tomorrow, because if we do win and then we get our points deduction, we're still in a stronger position. So a draw for me is not good enough.
Look what Bournemouth did in the second half. They scored 4 goals.
We haven't won a game in how many games
against them? 4 goals in 45 minutes while they're 3-0 down. We have to go and approach that game and attack and win. If we're 1-0 up, we go and score a second. If we're 2-0 up, we go and score a third. If we're 3-0 down, we go and score 5. Just keep attacking. That is their weakness. Keep attacking their area.
I love it. Rob's now got it in writing now, so you can refer back to it.
Because I'm being painted as saying that we should set up for a draw, and the draw is a good result, and we should be happy with the draw. None of those things.
Not against Luton. A draw is not good against Luton.
Go out to win the game, but I think that scenario like this, where both teams are terrified of losing, tends towards a draw.
But Rob, why are we terrified of losing against Luton Town Football Club?
All right, okay, so it's not the opposition that we fear; it's the consequences, right? So I was thinking about this earlier. Right? Imagine like you've got a brick wall that's like 2 feet off the ground. You would easily just walk along that wall. You'd walk along that wall, and it would be the easiest thing you've ever done. Now, if you suddenly put that brick wall 100 feet up in the air, you'd be terrified of it, because if you'd be terrified to walk down it, because you think, what if there's a freak gust of wind? I'm going to get blown off and die, right? So the point is that it's not the opposition that scares us; it's the consequences of losing. So it's a scary scenario.
I'm sorry, but this is a load of bollocks. Why are we talking about walls?
Man for man, apart from Barkley, who's the only one that would definitely get in our team, right? Man for man, we have got better players than Luton, right? So in the end, on the day it comes down to psychology, it comes down to luck. But I think the most likely outcome, if I was putting my money on this, is that it will end up a draw and nothing will be decided. And that was the result last time we played them.
Predictions, man.
Let me bring Ant in. Ant's been unusually quiet here, right? And how are you seeing this? I'm not, in a weird way, I get what Rob's saying. He's saying that he thinks it's going to end up as a draw. He doesn't want a draw, but he thinks it'll end up as a draw. Yeah?
Thank you.
And it would be the most Forest thing to do to make things harder for ourselves, as we always seem to do. Yeah, I get what he's saying. But the bit he said there, and for me, was man for man. We got the better team. I'm sorry, I don't care whatever that fat boy James Corden says on his 2 subscriber stream.
Nobody can try that. Yeah.
So what you say? How are you seeing this one, then?
Yeah, unfortunately, having the better players doesn't always equate to winning, does it? We've seen us lose against plenty of teams that are inferior to us, and we've beaten teams that are superior to us. So it's on the day, and I actually agree with what a lot of what Rob was saying.
Did you say what?
He did.
I mean, the fact that
I agree with Rob.
No, the fact of the matter
Jonathan, what?
This is going to sound dreadful.
What Rob's saying.
Huh?
Carry on.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody's going to like this, but the real fact of the matter is, any of the 3 results are possible tomorrow.
You don't say, mate. You don't say.
I know. Yeah, but it's true, isn't it? I mean, if we were playing Manchester City away, I wouldn't be saying any result is possible. But on this one, I'm not making myself very clear, but what I'm trying to say is that it's very difficult to predict, because
you're saying it's a must-win, aren't you, Ant? It's a must-win.
We know how crap Forest can be.
Yes.
We've seen it.
Yeah, but they can't be like that anymore.
We know.
I love
how crap
that
we can
rallying call and bloody hell.
Let him finish.
Why
Let
are
him
you
finish.
being so negative?
I'm not going to let him finish.
I
Let
don't
Ant
understand
finish.
why you
Hold
did
on.
that.
Let him finish.
I'm going to build up. However, having said that,
Oh God, there we
we
go.
have
Covering his
got
back.
far superior players. If Nuno picks what I think we all agree is an attacking side, see, Luton's problem is defence, and we've seen that. Yes, they can score goals if the teams allow them to score goals, but their defence is pretty bad. They've got a lot of injuries in vital positions. We should go there on the front.
And name two of their injured players.
Oh,
And name two of their players in general, man. Forget injured.
Chong, and
John, is it
that,
John?
that forward from Villa.
Chong and
What's his
Cheech.
name? Cheech and Chong, yeah.
Sorry, carry on then.
Okay. Yeah. So they are. I mean, look. But the problem is, if you remember when we went there in the Championship, we didn't win. You know, so there's no guarantee.
They
going to a
cheated,
place
man.
like-
They cheated.
I
we
mean,
scored.
yeah, that game
Luton.
was bullshit. We had
Yeah,
a
they
perfectly
cheated.
good goal disallowed, and they had
Yeah.
a penalty for something they shouldn't have had. It was, that was.
Listen,
that was
I'm
a
the one
corrupt
with the
championship.
reputation for interrupting. Do you mind? Yeah, Liverpool.
Are
Went
you
into the
still
season-
building up, Ant? Come on, man.
This is an 8-minute long speech.
Liverpool went into the season and had to score in the last minute to get a draw. So they are capable of pulling out these freak results. However, I don't think that they're in the situation now that there was before. I think that defeat against Bournemouth is really going to wreck their confidence big style. Somebody said earlier on, is it the right time to play them? I'd rather play a team that's just been 3-0 up at half-time and lost 4-3 than a team that's just won 5-0. I know which team I'd rather face. And if Forest can go there on the front foot with our better players and they're all reasonably fit and we can get an early goal, I think it could be quite an easy game. I think we could win 3 or 4. But those things have to align. If we go there with a shit attitude like we did against Brighton and they score first, then it's Forest. Anything can happen.
I don't know why you lot are so negative. Like, it's a good job.
No,
you're
wait,
not doing
wait, Crypto, just before you start, does anyone understand what he just predicted?
No.
I'm predicting that if we go there with a fit squad and they all play to their abilities and we get an early goal, we'll win 4-0.
If at least I've made a prediction, right? At least I've made a prediction.
A lot of football.
He's true. At least Rob put, his ass on the fence and put a score next to his ass.
I'm going to go positive on this one. I'm going to go positive. I'm going to say 3-0 Forest.
Luton have scored like 16 in a row, yeah?
In a row, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And they're one of the top
if we play Bolly and either Felipe or preferably Murillo in that defence, we'll be okay. Nico's playing well enough to keep their left winger quiet. The left side, Toffolo's solid. He'll be all right. And we're going to dominate in midfield, and we've got Elanga and up to the door. They must be shit. Whew, they must be shitting themselves.
Oh man, Mark, you're an idiot. Disappointed with that climax. Go, Crypto. You said you were going to be positive.
Yeah, well,
look, I'm gonna be positive. I think we'll concede because we always concede.
That's not positive, man.
No, I
don't
think we'll keep a clean sheet. Like, if
Matt getting stick off Rob's dad. I supported him earlier on. You can bugger off.
No, where? That was me.
Anti-climax.
No, that was Rob.
He's right in his own comment.
Dad's probably gone to bed.
He's like, but then once they started talking Mangala, he was gone, man.
Look, I think we're gonna win if Nuno has the right starting lineup, but I think we'll still concede. I mean, I'm gonna go for a 3-1 prediction. I've only had one prediction right all season, so it'll probably be wrong. But we've got to attack them. That's all I can say is attack. It's what happened to them the other day. They lost the game because, maybe Reyna will play instead of Yates. They lost the game because they can't defend. Now, our defense is okay as long as we don't make mistakes and as long as Bolly's in there to... Oh, there he is in the chat, look. It's Ryan Yates. So hopefully he's not playing tomorrow. But if Bolly's in there, we defend the set pieces, don't make mistakes, and then the rest of it's down to the other side of the pitch. So I'm feeling confident. I don't know why you lot are so negative. It's Luton Town at the end of the day. We need to go in there and think we've got to get the points. It doesn't matter whether we get 3-6 points deducted. We need to win. We need to get points on the table. A draw is not good enough tomorrow. They've got to go in there with positivity. Go in there, play like they did in the Liverpool match, but get a result out of it at the end of the day.
Is this the same guy that half time again?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't even respond to what he's saying, man.
Yeah, but in a genuine way, that surely triggers them to go on and try and win the game. They've just seen that Luton have been turned over. So Forest should be able to go and get a win, quite simply. If they attack the box, they will win the game. I'm fed up with this defensive mindset. Sit back, go and play and score some goals and win the game and get the 3 points on the table.
They could not defend a 3-0 lead at halftime. They should have low blocked the hell out of that second half, but they still tried.
Yeah, but Steve Cooper wasn't managing them, so they didn't.
They haven't got the strength to basically hold off any attack. They're weak through the middle, they're weak on the wings. So we don't just have to rely on crosses into the box. We should be able to pick through them quite easily with just cutting out the passing lanes and getting those. And we need a player like Sangare and Dominguez on top of their game who do that. They are progressive. Danilo can do that, but Danilo's been so up and down this season that I just wouldn't start with him tomorrow. It's got to be Dominguez and Sangare. Give them the ball and give them the opportunity to get our forward players in behind their defense, because Chris Wood can give them trouble tomorrow, and I think he will. I would start with Chris Wood. I think the team that you put out on your preview, Wolfie, I'd probably go with that. You know, there was a little bit of talk of Nuno Tavares being fit, and if he is fit, then I would throw him straight in. I've got no problem with Toffolo, but he just doesn't give us that overlap that Tavares does when he's playing with Chodan outside. But I think he needs to do that a bit more, but he just hasn't got the legs to get up and down the field. When he does get in crossing positions, I think Toffolo's crossing is fantastic. It's one of the best in our squad, but he just hasn't got the legs to keep getting up and down. But we can manage that better. You know, you got better players in defensive positions that can slide across and cover him to get forward, then that is an option. But yeah, tomorrow, go attacking, man. We've got to go at them. We've got to basically play on their weaknesses. Not only are they down to the bare bones, I mean, we can't name, but we did have a list out earlier, and it was Martin in our group chat who put it out. But Adebayo is going to be out. Their key striker is going to be out for the rest of the season, it looks like. And they're missing players like Nakamba and obviously Lockyer and so many others. But the ones who did play on Wednesday, the ones who did play on Wednesday, they're absolutely knackered after that. We talked about their talisman. You know, he took a knock on the nose. He broke his nose last weekend.
Wait, who's their talisman? You're going to have to give us a name.
Barkley.
Barkley. So he broke his nose last weekend, and then he didn't actually play with a mask on against Bournemouth, and he got a knock on the nose in the second half, didn't he? Yeah. So I think, you know, we've got to play it that way. Somebody just lean into him as early on as you can, knock him off his stride, because he is their key player. He is their key player. If you give him time on a ball, he will cause us problems, because we do like to sit off at times, you know. So get in and around him. We've got quality players who can get the ball and play it forward. I'm really positive about tomorrow. I agree that we're on this winning run. I mean, this run of scoring goals. So I do think we will concede tomorrow. But I am going to probably agree with Crypto's prediction, as in a 3-1 win for Forest tomorrow. But 3-1 win without any panic. I want it to be comfortable tomorrow. Just look
what they've posted. Shout out to Brandon for tagging me, the Twitter Brandon, on this one. What a dump of a state. This is their build-up. They've literally tomorrow. Yeah, they've put this there for tomorrow. Just let me play this for you. Sorry if you're listening on the podcast, but what a shithole, man. Seriously. What is this stadium, man? And what is this stadium, man? Honestly, my under-13s team plays in a better stadium than these.
I've seen better Sabutio stadiums than that one.
It's just an absolute
You're so elitist, you lot are, aren't you? Honestly.
Kenilworth Road, man. Seriously. And they've posted that as their promo cut for this game.
I'm
it's an absolute joke, man. It's an absolute joke. Mike,
Yeah, well, we're gonna go there and win. Otherwise, the joke will be on us, won't it?
We've got to walk
right,
through someone's backyard to get
Let me
there.
catch up with some of the super chats. Mark, did we do this one? Ant never change you pillock. If we did, I'm reading it again.
Just
because
bring it
it's
up again
funny.
anyway, yeah.
Change. Roy, thank you so much for the
Hey,
6 months,
call me
buddy.
what you like.
And Forest Hood, thank you for the £5, buddy. Predicting 2-1, maybe Forest get 3. Need to be the game where everything comes together. Okay,
Yeah,
you want to hear my prediction?
Not really.
Okay, cool.
we've
We'll
all
end it there. then.
Go on, man. Go on.
No, I'm
on.
just gonna say I'm not predicting. As we're in Ramadan right now, I am putting it in the hands of God. What God decides will be, and
It
that's the
always
best
is.
way to look at it.
I know.
That could backfire quite badly.
No, actually, Allah gave a 4-3 defeat for Luton the other night, didn't he?
Exactly. I was going to say.
It's so true.
Personal, yeah, definitely.
It's so true, and this is actually true. I got back from football, and I'd called Nick on the way back, and he's like, "You're not gonna believe it. They're 3-0 up at half time." I got straight in and I prayed for 45 minutes. I didn't even see the second half, right? And I checked my WhatsApp and Nick was messaging me, oh my God, 3-1, 3-2. I hadn't seen these yet. 3-all. Bournemouth for winning. And I was like, there's the power of God right
we
there.
need
So.
to cancel the watch along just so you can head
Pray,
down the
yeah.
Just pray.
Extra praise. I, on the other hand,
I was literally that close to switching off at half time because why would I want to
I
watch?
thought you were going to say converting to Islam.
It's up there.
If we have to,
he's on his way.
Whatever it takes.
if
Whatever
it
it
kicks up,
In the WhatsApp group, and like continuing the conversation, I would have switched it off, but we were continuing, and then it obviously came on, and what happened.
Well, I'll tell you my prayer story that day because I did my Isha prayer, which was just as the game kicked off. I think game kicked off at 7:30, so I went to pray there. And then I came back to the game and we were 3-0 down. No, I switched on just as Barkley scored his the third goal, and I was like, I was thinking the opposite. So at halftime, I made an extra prayer, came back second half, watched it, and I was like, you know what? I ended up delaying. I didn't end up going to a mosque, so I ended up delaying my prayer to watch that second half. So on the flip side, my prayers worked in a different way, but mate.
So your prayers were, please God, ignore me. Don't go with us.
I said, give me 45 minutes.
Wages, both pray. Everybody pray, whether you believe in God or not, whether Allah, Jehovah, whoever. Everybody pray.
Jehovah.
And we're going to cover all bases here. We're going to cover all bases.
Someone's going to be right, yeah. All right, on that note,
right. Yeah,
we'll be back tomorrow.
Be right, won't they?
Listen, there's been over 700 of you in here live tonight. Shout out to all of you for staying up late with us. You absolute legends. Thank you all for chilling. 79% want Sangara over Yates, by the way, on that poll. We'll be back for the pray along tomorrow. We might kick it off a bit early, like 2:30. Please do get that likes up. And don't forget, there's only a few tickets now left on the Murillo signed frame shirt. So if you want to grab those, the links pinned in the chat. And make sure you check us out, as always, on Spotify, iTunes, and wherever you get your podcast from. Give us a follow, a 5-star review. We will see you for the pray along tomorrow. Come on, you Reds.
You Reds.